Let me do that. There you go. There you go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daytime Today Live. With my big hair, it's hot today in LA. I'm trying to make my house cooler in here. Jesus, it's hot. Welcome. This is JLJ Media. Open your chat room, say hello. It's 3:18 in the afternoon here in Los Angeles. I'm pissed that I didn't get my Bold and Beautiful special episode today. It's coming out tomorrow. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Looking forward to it. But that's life. I want to tell you thank you. I do. I want to say thank you and explain a few things. But come on in. You guys want to come? Everybody's coming on. I'm stepping on something. I don't know what it is. Can I tell you this is live television? I'm stepping on something. My phone is off. Okay, yeah. Hello, Michelle Buchanan. Great name from New York. I love New York. Okay. So I want to say thank you, first of all, to many of you for making this show, which I rebooted like a couple months ago. I think February, right? I think it was February. All right. You have made this show a huge hit for the network and for me. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Audio and video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have many choices in listening and watching stuff. So I appreciate you watching and listening to my stuff. Daytime Today was also a show that happened last year, a different format. This was kind of the format we kind of wanted, but the ladies couldn't do it this way, the way their lives were set up. My life is set up a lot differently. So I do some recorded pieces, but doing these live have been a lot of fun. And I talking to you directly. I like hearing what I can't hear. I like seeing what you have to say. But I also want to thank those who comment afterwards, who watch or listen and actually comment. I do appreciate, I read the comments and I like to hear what you have to say. And I will tell you 95% of the comments have been wonderful, engaging. I say to agree with me in everything I say, but at least giving me a healthy thought, healthy debate. And I appreciate that. And I wanted to kind of tell you, explain to you why I say what I say and do what I do. I get questions like this all the time, like, why do you, can you just shut up and watch the soap opera and enjoy it and all that kind of stuff? So I want to explain to you why I think and feel the way I do. Number one, I am a content creator. I'm also a producer and a host, and I do opinion television, as they call it. So when I do these, I'm not just recapping and telling you what happened. I'm telling you my opinion behind it or about it. That's just how it is, right? Now, with that, there's a lot that comes with that, obviously, and I understand that part. That's great. But now, folks ask me how I come to my opinions. Now, number one, I love the soap genre. I can't say it. Soap genre. I do. I love it. I enjoy it. I think it's great. I like the formats. I like that it's every day. I like things that are cheesy. I like things that are serious. Soaps pretend. I've been watching soaps most of my life. I'm 53 years old, 52 to be. And I love seeing what they come up with. Soaps, because they're on every day, have a chance to really affect change in the world and entertain. I do. I mean, I understand it's entertainment. I want to entertain. So when I do, I know a lot of the hard-working people that work on behind the scenes on the soaps. I know how hard the actors work, the producers, the writers, the crew, everything. I understand all that too. People ask me why I push so hard on race or sexual orientation or certain storyline plots. Because it is 2022, and I want to see the best of the best of the best in soaps. I really do. I want to see good stuff happening on soaps. I want to be entertained. Us soap fans, you guys included in the chat room, anyone listening, we're not dumb. We actually follow along with the storylines you give us. We know history. We know consistency when things are not being consistent. We want good entertainment. We just do. We want good actors. We want good stories. We want all that kind of stuff. So soap fans aren't dumb. Now, I may call a lot of soap fans bonkers. They're crazy. That's their story. But we ain't dumb. Especially longtime soap fans, we invest in our shows. So I'm that person too. I'm a fan first, invest in shows. Now, also, I view shows, and it's everything in my life, not just soaps, through specific lenses. I just can't help it. Bronx. Love my New Yorkers in today. Thank you, New Yorkers. I miss New York very much. My family. I had one aunt in the Bronx on Fifth Avenue, but I'm Brooklyn and Upper Manhattan. Spanish Harlem. This is how I see any show, and including the soaps. I watch it through a lens of being a person of color. Just can't help it. That's just how any person of color understands this. I see it through specifically a Black lens or Latino lens. That's how you watch everything. We see it everywhere. I also view it as a long-time viewer. I'm a long-time soap viewer. That's why I just started yesterday. I also view it through an LGBTQIA plus lens. I also view it through a writing and producing lens. I write and produce dramas myself. I have a bunch of audio dramas that I write, produce, and direct. So I also view shows through their writing. So all of those lenses are just a part of my life. They're just there, and I can't help but see stuff through that. And many of us who come from any of those things, or all of them, we view it that way, and we have to accept whatever the soaps give us mostly, right? Or TV shows, or movies, our whole lives. We have to just watch these shows and find something that's good about them to make us continue to watch. And many times we have to just put aside what we wish we could see to take what we do see, if that makes any sense. It would be like shows with no women in them. It would be all men. And if a woman watches the show, you would see it from a female lens of some sort. And you'd be like, where are the women? What's going on? This is such a male-centric show. But you may enjoy it. You may like it. But we have to almost overcome these other things to like a show. It's just what it is. And so me and myself and others like me and others we have to find ways to get in and go, okay, so there's nobody looks like me on here, but I'm going to like the actors. I'm going to like the story. I'm just going to enjoy it. If you're somebody who's South Asian, don't go on daytime TV. Nobody looks like you on daytime TV. If you're Thai, there's one person, Lydia Look on, I think she's Thai, on General Hospital. But if you're Korean or Laotian or Japanese, you're on there. Ecuadorian, Argentinian, no representation. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have to just go, okay, well, I like this show. It does seem really funny, but we just know there are things that are missing for us. And we can still enjoy the show to a certain extent. Now, when they add somebody who looks like you or add a storyline that you can relate to personally, it can go several ways. One, you enjoy it. You're like, finally, oh my goodness, thank God. Or you can not enjoy it. And I always tell people, she's from Singapore. Thank you. She's from Singapore. So Singaporean. So if you're Singaporean, you have Lydia Look. Thank you, Cherie. Thank you. But there you go. No one from Thailand. There you go. You're looking for somebody in Thailand. There's somebody on there that's of any major series. It still kind of proves my points. Whichever country you're from, you're not always represented. Your heritage is not represented. But we watch things a certain way. So we just can't help it. And because it's not equal, daytime is not equal opportunity. It's not. That's just a fact. It just isn't. I don't have to make that up. I don't have to try to cause problems. It's literally on your screen. It's not equal. None of the shows have equal anything. It's mostly one thing with others. Just is. And some folks got mad at me because I always bring it up. But I'm like, it's not that, maybe you don't have to worry about it. Maybe you are the majority, and that's why you're watching the show and you don't have to think about it. But for those of us who don't, it's like telenovelas, there's several different countries who do that. Venezuela, Colombia, Mexico. So there's different types of Latino. I'm gonna tell you this, we're not all the same on that side either. But at least it's majority. We have a language that connects the show, that dominates the show. It's Spanish. Now they have their own problems too with color issues and things stuff. But at least the one thing they have that's all Latino, it's all Spanish speaking, and that's the collective thing. Where yes, it's all English, but we don't have that equality. We just don't. This doesn't happen. And so there are times when I will speak out on it, the situation. I could tell the other day folks were not feeling me with the Diane revelation. I think people were so excited to have an old character who was very popular on the Young and Restless back with the original actress that they were not open to hearing what I had to say about how this storyline could be with more Asian characters in it because Jack's son was half Asian. And they already brought the granddaughter on. So people they're so excited about this, back from the dead story, which we do on soaps, which again is another trope that's just tired. But I kept bringing up the fact that this was a chance. Why go that tired direction that we go through all the time and not go another direction? And maybe Chemo wasn't dead. Maybe find a great Asian actor to play him. Maybe have her mother come on. Like there's a whole thing over here that could be this is not done on TV. It's just not done. It's not done. I mean, again, I'm not trying to stir trouble. It's not done. But everybody's like, I'll go over here and enjoy this part of the story that would bring back an old character and hoping. Now, I did see some people get upset about it too, saying, again, because Kyle, I guess maybe he's coming back he's coming back on the show, I guess. But like, I did see some folks who are like me, like, really? We're really going to do that again? My questioning usually is, if you have several choices, you choose, there's A, B, and C. A is always a choice. B is a slightly different choice, and C is a very different choice. You always pick A. That's all I question. You always pick A. Now, it's your show. Do whatever you want. I don't tell writers what to do. But I just will bring out, I'm just really curious why, where we see, I say, for example, Days of Our Lives, and there are Black and brown people all over the place. They're all over the place. They're sprinkled throughout storylines, mixed up with other people, and it just is. I was saying, I never thought I'd say this, but Days of Our Lives is like the one show for sure that I feel the most seen. I look at it, I say, okay, there's some gay folks here, some Black folks over here, they have Latina over here. It seems pretty. It's not exactly equal, but it's like they got a cast that's diverse. I mean, very few casts on TV period are equal. That's just again, we know that if you're a person of color, you notice that. Shonda Rhimes tries in many of her productions, like your points, very sprinkled, and she uses different colors and different types of Latino, different types of Black and white, and she mixes it all together on her shows. Like your points on that. And she has Black leads and white leads and these kind of leads and that leads, and it's good. I think it's good. But I think, I know race and sexual orientation, and sometimes gender, but on soaps, women, you can talk about women's stuff on soaps. It's uncomfortable. Some folks say, why, what does it matter? Why are you bringing it up? Some folks make jokes that I think are inappropriate about it. I think they're funny. Some folks try to diffuse what I'm saying sometimes. It's like, oh, that's me. I still stick to my thing. Is that on occasion, I will bring up something that I think is hypocritical or optically doesn't look good. Now, I'm not one of those people who thinks every single thing is racially motivated. I think some things are just not thought about. I think sometimes people in positions there are things you don't think, there's nothing malicious about it. I don't think any show producer or showrunner wants to ruin their shows. You don't want to do that. They want the shows to be successful. They want them to be successful so that they could be really a lot of fun. To be successful, make money. There's no reason there's no reason to want to, have that happen. Some soaps try other things. They try something different. A lot of fans don't like them. There are a lot of fans who are just traditional soap fans. They want the traditional soap. They don't want extras. Days of Our Lives does it mostly, and most of their fans are kind of going along with it. Someone's mentioning an alien. General Hospital did that years ago with Casey the Alien. It was a popular storyline. It was brief. He met Robin. It was a whole thing. It didn't really work. They had the Gemini twins on Days, but turned out they were for real. But they came in a spaceship. But they were for real, actually humans. But some soaps try to do something a little different, just to shake things up. There's only so many things you can do on a soap, right? I mean, there are triangles, quadrangles, pregnancies, deaths, cheating, board. There's like 10 things that you can do. It's more about the twists on how can you tweak it a bit to make it slightly different. Most of us want to see the veterans mixed with the newbies, mixed with the folks in between. Is that because Shonda is a woman of color, so she thinks different way? Well, yes. Well, that's a given. Any person of color sees things differently than white writers. Any female sees things differently than male writers. You can have things, and I believe you can have things in common. You can come to agreements. But I think everyone, again, whatever lens you come from, that's how you see it. And usually you write through that lens. But again, it doesn't say that a white writer can't write for Black people if the story isn't inherently a Black story. They could. That's the other side of things. There's some stories, we don't want everything just to be about Black. If you're Black, all you get is Black story. We don't want that. But it's just about including, and Canada does it a lot, where their shows are very mixed. You don't see it in the rest of relationships like somebody's business. And that's kind of the point. Is that can you just put people together and let them see if they have chemistry and then go from there? Or use those same soap tropes, but give it to everybody. Give it to everybody. Like we just want give a Black man a chance to be a leading Black man on a soap, or a Black woman, and give them the same problems as everybody else. I have no problem with that. Let them go through the same things, as they do. But do they know how to? That's a good question. That's the eternal question. I think anybody can write characters and character study for just like basic stuff. Now, when you want to add nuances, that's when you may need somebody of the same race, same culture, to add their 2 cents. Most shows are not just one writer. There's more than one writer. So if you want to add some Black sensibility, and I mentioned this on another thing, it could be just like having art on the walls that's African American art, or South American art. The person South American art pieces in the house. It could be they speak Spanish for a second. It could be not they don't speak Spanish. There are many people who are first, second generation here who don't speak Spanish. They still identify as Latino, or they still identify as what they are. I don't want anything horribly offensive to happen. But yeah, maybe I mean, if you're writing some regular story, like you're writing a cheating story, there don't have to be any race. Just write the story, and then it's in the casting how that works. That's the second thing, is casting. Producers and networks need to see casting. They need to see a bigger vision of these two characters. They could look good together, and they can act and make a story come together. We have examples of that. It can happen. Not just, well, what kind of, like I said before another show, the Midwest should be offended, because they're always saying middle America, middle America. There are some folks, yes, but I go to the Midwest all the time, and they don't really care. They just want good television. And I'm talking white, black, everybody. They don't care. They don't. They want this. They just want to see good television. They're like, I like those two characters together. They don't care. There's been a lot of talk about Trina, obviously, on General Hospital. And there are folks who think she's getting a bad look, and she's Black. And I don't know if I agree with that completely. I personally think, I would call it out if I thought so. I just think they're trying to write her a regular story that's within that teen scene. And again, we're so lopsided that it may seem optically, oh, the Black girl's getting this, she's getting, but I think they're just trying to write a regular story. She happens to be Black in the story, which for me, I actually kind of like that. I actually think that's fine. I don't think they're doing anything to damage her Blackness. I don't think they're trying to do something to her because she's Black. I mean, I could be wrong. I just don't see it myself. And trust me, I'm watching. I just don't see it. I think maybe, and that's the problem of when you're not equal on shows. Whatever portrayals and stories you get, then that group is looking at those really hard and have comments. That's kind of the problem, right? It's like if it was equal, everything was fine, no one probably would say anything. But because it isn't, we're so wanting these. I don't say minorities, we're not minor, but people who are othered want to see a storyline with other people. We get so few that when it happens, you're pissed. And Brown, you're right. So they do. Soaps come with it's the same storylines. I mean, there's not much, there really isn't that much you can do that's different. It's just twist characters, maybe a slight twist, but it's the same. It's like music. Right now, they really can't add a new music genre. At this point, it's all kind of the same from somewhere else. And that's why I bring it up. They think that Esme is treating the Esme Trina storyline, the Joss Cameron Trina storyline, that there's race involved. And I actually, David, I agree with you on that. It's just plain old, it's just bullying. It's a woman scorn knowing that she likes her man and her man likes her. That's all that is. She's trying to cause problems for everybody. That's what Esme's trying to do. So but there are a lot of folks who think it's racist. And optically, because I see things through a Black lens, optically, I can see that kind of. I can kind of see why they're going that direction. I can see it. But I just personally don't, as a Black person myself, I don't think that's the case. Now, I'm still watching the storyline. We can do Trina. We'll see how it goes. But for me, I'm like, so far, it's a classic bad girl trying to set her up. I think the setup I think the storyline's kind of tired. But I don't do a race. It goes back to the storyline, right? So I understand optics. I do. But I also just, and see here's my thing also. I'm letting go of a friend in real life. I'm letting go of a friend. It goes back to, I'm letting go of a friend. And it was over optics. It was over conversations or race and sexuality conversation. And that's just how it is. We see the world very differently, and we're from the same race. So there's that too. So I also want to say, I'm not the voice of Black America. I'm not the voice of any America. I'm the voice of James Lott Jr. But I do know there are folks who are similar. We do have nighttime soaps. We have Dynasty, CW Dynasty. I would argue that Grey's Anatomy is a soap, and Station 19 is a soap. But I know what you mean. We don't have a Dallas Dynasty. Well, we have Dynasty. We don't have a Dallas Fighting Crest Knots Landing here. But and see, that's the thing. Most primetime shows, This Is Us, Million Little Things, they're all soaps. They just don't call themselves soaps. That's the other thing that gets my nerves. Soap is a bad word. Soap opera is a dirty word. So continuing dramas. These are shows with storyline arcs. They'll say every name in the book. But you say soap opera? Crickets. But writing representation is writing representation. And no matter it's nighttime or daytime or meantime, prime time, same time, we have the same issues. It's not equal. It's not. And there are more Black shows happening for other streaming services and networks. There are some, like Abbott Elementary, Grand Crew, some great half-hour comedies. There's a lot that it's changing a little bit. We go through cycles. It's very cyclical. We'll have a bunch of stuff that's of color, and then we have nothing. We had Fresh Off the Boat, that's gone. We have Young Rock, which is partially, this is his Pacific Islander heritage. But that's another story. Soaps are another story. These shows are another story when they keep them up. But for me, again, it's just, I do the opinion television. I look at I look at these TV shows, and I'm just like, I really want to always be a voice if I catch something or see something. And I do that not just with Black stuff or gay stuff, but also with writing and certain things that happen and casting. I feel like it's not that hard. And with some shows, you do have Black characters, and I know there's large casts and things, but I just encourage people who work on shows to possibly open their minds a little more and maybe become conscious of it. Like I said, not everybody's unconscious of it. It's just things have been done the way they've always been done. And we as consumers, as watchers, you guys, there's a lot, not you, say necessarily you in the chat room, but a lot of you guys out there are hitting the Twitters and are upset and want things a certain way. They want the soaps to listen to you. Well, they're not going to listen to you. They think they're doing what's best for their shows. But the one power you do have is, pressing a button to watch or not watching. That's the power you have. So for many people, I just ask them, you're accepting what you're given. Is that okay? I can't tell you, only you can answer that, right? If you get what you need out of the soap operas, honestly, okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, I can't say anything. But if you feel like you're lacking or upset, I understand. I totally understand. I do. Because we for so long have to accept what we are given. And Black folks especially are a large number of watchers of television, of soaps. They've done polls, they've done graphs, they've done everything. The African American community is a huge, I know personally my own family are huge soap watchers, faithful soap watchers. I've gone to fan events and there are a lot of Black folks who support them. And that is in spite of rarely seeing themselves represented on their soap that they love. So that means they have come to love the show in spite of it being not equal. And I'm not going to shame them or anything. I mean, like I said, we find things to enjoy the shows. We automatically just accept this is how it is. But it's up to us to call stuff out. It's up to us to say something. It's up to us to insist on good story. I don't mind silly stuff and fun stuff. It's fine. But it's up to us to insist on good story. That's all I want to come on. I really just want to say thank you to everybody because you guys have really, you're here today. You watch and listen to stuff afterwards, and I'm just speaking what my truth is on this subject for whatever it's worth, and people can take it or leave it. But I will continue to do so. And I get flack for it sometimes and that stuff, and I can handle it. That's fine. Because I just want the best shows out there also. And I want everybody to feel included. I just do. I'm James Lott Jr. Thanks for watching, listening to me ramble on today about life. No rant, just talk. Conversations are important. It's an opening. It's a tool. Change can happen. It can from conversations. So that's the deal.